Welcome, dear listener, to Desert Island Gamer, a quick-fire interview podcast digging into those video games that shaped us into the wholesome, kind-hearted people we are today. The entirely original premise: one desert island, one guest, 3 games they adore, one game they abhor, and a carefully selected gaming character with which to spend an eternity of moonlit walks along the beach. It could be weird, it could be unhinged, and it could have crappy sound quality, but at least it will be short. To the island. Today on Desert Island Gamer, we are joined by Jorge, who is one of the developers and art directors of a new game called Astrozombies. It's a cracking game and I recommend you get it. Before we kick in, I would normally start with icebreaker questions, but we're going to scrap that today. Let's just talk about Astrozombies. And a few things that I was really curious about in particular is your own journey. What has that journey been like?
Well, it's been really difficult. I'm a graphic designer. I always thought about making games, but since I'm from a country called Argentina, we don't have the industry really developed, you know? So it was really hard to get into it. But I had a moment in my life where I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was with someone that told me, hey, if you love video games so much, why don't you try it? I mean, why don't you get someone that can make the program? You draw the assets and, well, you figure it out, you know? And that's the basic premise, you know? It's the way I did it.
Yeah, I want to shake whoever told you to do that by the hand and say it was a great choice to send you down this path. Having only just experienced the game, it's been a real great experience. It's a real triumph. In terms of putting the game out there, for myself, I've come from a background of writing. And even for me, to put something out there that then is scrutinized by the public is kind of daunting. It's kind of emotional. So to put something that you've poured your heart and soul into, like a video game, what has the emotional experience been like?
I must say it's really hard. I know from my previous working experience that you need to kind of detach yourself from your work. When people criticize it, when they give their opinion, it's not personal. It's not like they're criticizing you or saying things exactly to you. It's like their experience and what they think about it. And it's okay if they like it and if they don't like it. But it's really difficult.
Yeah, I imagine.
Because when you put so many years of your life and so much hard work into something, it's pretty much like some sort of baby, you know? It's hard not to say, there's a part of me there. There's a lot of me there. You just need to remind yourself of that, you know? Put it there, listen, because I've heard a lot of really interesting critiques. Take the ones that really add to your experience so you can make it better and improve it. And if somebody doesn't like it, it's okay. They cannot like it. And it doesn't mean that either they don't know or that the game sucks. You know, it's different strokes for different folks.
That's a good mindset. That's a nice way to approach things because, it can be difficult at times for sure. So, I like that mindset very much. In terms of where you go, obviously, we're right at the birth of Astrozombies. Don't know if you even thought about where you go.
I envisioned it like a 3-part video game, which can be played in separate chapters, pretty much like the first Star Wars trilogy. I mean, I'm not saying I'm them, please.
On the way.
But what I mean is that I wanted each game to start and finish in itself. But when you get the 3 of them together, you get like a bigger picture, a bigger experience.
Awesome. Yeah.
To tell you the truth, we're still watching because we need to see if we have our day jobs. So we need to see what will come out of this. But we're really looking forward to the opportunity of expanding the universe.
I'm sure I speak for many players who will experience Astrozombies. I hope this becomes the new day job down the line and this is the start of a road to a future basically doing this, because what a future that will be.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Everything else is getting bigger, these open worlds. It's nice that we can go back and put a smile on your face. I love that. And respect to you for bringing that to us. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's something, it's something that I really gave a lot of thought to, because I do know that they're not like the current trend of video games. So I thought maybe if I'm going to make a video, I might need to do something that belongs to these times. But then I figured that there's already a lot of people doing that. I can try something I want to do. It's kind of out of time.
It could introduce a whole new generation of gamers to where we came from, basically. People still listen to the music from the 60s and 70s, and these things go in cycles, don't they? Things never get old. If it's fun, it's fun. It's as simple as that, I think.
Absolutely. That's the way I think about it.
Thank you, George. We will crack on, because unfortunately, you're going to have to forget about Astrozombies for a while, because you've just been stranded upon the desert island. But luckily, in some strange fortune, you have the whole universe of video games to choose from. Let's kick in with game one.
It's hard to narrow it down to 3, but say that my first choice would be Mega Man X.
Oh, wow. One of those foundation stones. What is it about Mega Man X that has made it shine for you?
It kind of blew my mind when I was a kid, because games were a lot simpler. This was the first in the X series of Mega Man, where you kind of had a lot of collectibles, and it had a lot of replayability, and it had all these bosses that were a mix between animals and technological things. And it was like, wow, it's a lot of space for creativity, you know? And the story was simple, but it had a lot of emotion going for it. You know, with Zero, that he sacrifices at some things, and then he's really powerful, and you look up to him so you can battle another evil foe. It was like, whoa, there's so much going on here with so little. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, absolutely agree. It was definitely one of those games that as a kid, your jaw drops open and your eyes go wide, and it's one of them that just stays inside and you never kind of forget those. Is it one of those games that transports you straight back to being a kid again when you boot it up?
Absolutely. I love it. I keep on playing it to this day. You grow better, so you can finish it in a couple of hours.
Yep.
So I really put it up from time to time, and I do get that kick. I mean, it's my favorite. Even after there are a lot of other Mega Man X in the series.
Sure.
My absolute favorite. It's the one I can play with my eyes closed.
That's so cool. It's cool that you have games that do that to you, and that's a great first choice. I really, really like that one. What would be game 2?
Game 2 will be a game I have so much fun with, especially with friends. It's Turtles in Time.
Oh, right. Okay. I've never played Turtles in Time, so please sell this game to me.
Man, it's incredible. It's incredible. You know, it comes from the time where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were like big time. And Konami came up with this beat 'em up, which was incredible. It has amazing anime style graphics. You go through time. You start in New York City, I think they live, and then suddenly they go back to the prehistoric times. They go through pirate ships. They go through trains. You go through everywhere. You even go to the future and then come back. And the whole thing is because Shredder, the enemy of the Ninja Turtles, he just takes the Statue of Liberty.
As you do.
They gotta get it back, you know. So the final battle, you're against Super Shredder, which is, you know, that's
as if Shredder wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, he's super bad, you know. And in the background, you have the face of the Statue of Liberty looking at you while you fight this final boss, and everything is incredible. And the soundtrack, oh man. You got to listen. If you don't play, at least listen to the soundtrack, because it's beautiful. It's a work of art.
George, you've sold it. I'm going to dig this game out at some point today and see if I can get the children on it, because it sounds fantastic. Sounds like my sort of game as well. Actually, talking to soundtracks, I really should have mentioned the soundtrack from your own game, because wow, that is driving that game along at some rate of knots. It's really special. Congratulations on that. Is that where it's born from? You are noticing the music as well as the game?
Yeah, it's a very important part for me, the soundtrack, because as I told you before, a lot of these platformers have amazing soundtracks. Castlevania and Mega Man alone, they're beautiful. So I really wanted to keep the pace going with some nice tune. It was made by a friend of mine. You know, his whole heart was into it, because it wasn't only a job for a friend. So it was great, because he doesn't have a gaming background. He's a musician, but he didn't play games.
Yes.
So he really got the references I gave him.
Oh, it's captured it. It's a real like marriage between the game and the music. It really marries together and creates this outstanding sort of beast out there. It's fantastic. 2 cracking games. Can you keep it up with game number 3?
Well, I'm going to get a little bit more modern, so I'm going to choose Bloodborne.
Oh my God, I adore this game. Tell me why you love it first.
If I could make a game, the game, I mean, any game with any budget, and
Yes.
any knowledge, that's the game I would like to make. It's just beautiful. It's incredible. The gameplay is amazing. I mean, I love Dark Souls, but Bloodborne takes it so much further without all the blocking. It's action,
Yep.
and dodge, rolling, and the creature design. Oh my God. I mean, the Japanese really knock it out of the park. It's amazing what they come up with. It's so Lovecraftian. And
yeah, exactly.
And every time I play and every time I see a video of it and I read things, there's something new, a new detail. It's so much into the details that I can only love it.
Yeah, it is absolute gothical beauty. It's one of the few games I will stop and take screenshots just because it is so stunning to look at. It's part Tim Burton movie and just part masterpiece video game creation. It's absolutely a wonderful, wonderful game. Bloodborne's one of those games I can go back to again and again and kind of get the same experience from it, perhaps even more because I'm taking notice of other things going on. That is your 3 games done. Very good games. I mean, potentially the top 3 choices we've had so far. Obviously, as a developer yourself, this is going to be painful, but there is one game you're going to have to throw on the fire for heat, and which is the poor unfortunate game that is getting burnt today.
This one kind of has a little story, very short story. I don't know if you know it because it's not such a big game. It's called Sonic Shuffle. It's a game for the Dreamcast. And well, I remember having it when I was a kid and I didn't have a lot of money to buy games. So it was like a gamble. And it was so bad. I mean, today, we all know that Sonic is kind of, he kind of fell from grace. But by those days, we didn't know. Sonic was like Mario's equal. It was, I mean...
Oh, yes, yeah. They were toe to toe.
Yeah, and suddenly they come up with this Mario Party knockoff, which was so bad. You didn't get to play. It was all dialogue and explanations.
Oh, dear.
And it was, man, it's a party game. I want to play. So if I have to erase a game from the history of humankind, I'm sorry, but I would erase Sonic Shuffle.
It sounds a very, very valid reason to erase it. I think I'll help you throw that one on the fire, to be honest, especially as the Dreamcast, just to mention in the Dreamcast, that was, for me, a console that I absolutely adore, and it was heartbreaking when that kind of got cancelled out of the blue. It was like, there's going to be no more games for Dreamcast, and unfortunately, that is how it is.
Yes, I remember I had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I remember, for the Dreamcast. It was, at the time, it was the only console you could get that game, and I mean, it was an amazing system. It was
fantastic.
It was such a pain to see it go.
It certainly was. I don't think I'll ever quite get over that, to be honest. But having said that, Sonic Shuffle can go onto the flames because that sounds like an absolutely terrible game on the Dreamcast. Fantastic choice again. And obviously, everyone needs a companion on the island. Who will be your companion on the island?
Well, I'd say that my companion would be Jill Valentine from the Resident Evil series.
Resident Evil, sure. And what will Jill bring to the party?
She's a pretty interesting character.
Should we just cut it there?
She's a pretty interesting character, and she's into survival, so... that's important.
She's been through a lot. She certainly has.
She's been through a lot.
The desert island will feel like a picnic by comparison, to be fair.
Yeah, full of Jill sandwiches.
Yeah. Is Resident Evil a game then? Is that another game that kind of figured?
Resident Evil and Silent Hill are two franchises I absolutely love. Silent Hill, it kind of disappeared.
I think that was probably the first real horror game I remember playing, Silent Hill. It was the first one that felt like an adult horror game.
Yeah, I was really afraid. But I was afraid. I mean, I recall because I love horror things, books, movies, games. But that was the first time that I felt, man, I don't know if I can continue.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I had the similar there was a Japanese game called Project Zero. I think it had a few different names. Oh my God, I couldn't play it.
We know it as Fatal Frame.
Yes, of course, same game. Yeah,
the one with the camera.
That's it. And you're taking pictures of the creepiest ghosts.
It's incredible. Yes, I love those games too. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic game, but I've never seen the end of it because I was too terrified to continue. That is awesome. Thank you very much, George. Were there any games that were on the cusp that almost made the list? I'm sure there was a vast amount, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, people remember Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is a beautiful game. I love it, but I prefer the original, the kind of structure.
Cool. Yeah.
Which gave an arcade feeling. Castlevania, certainly. Mega Man. Well, Resident Evil, Silent Hill.
I'm sure we could probably go on for a long time with so many. There's so many.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You start me going, and I'm really sorry.
It's nice to meet a like-minded player. It really is. Thank you so much, George. I can wish you absolutely all the best with Astrozombies. I hope it delivers everything you want it to and more. Hopefully this is the start of changing day job.
I want to thank you very much because, I mean, the review was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And for having me in your podcast. I mean, it's the first time I am in a podcast. It's a first experience. And it was. I felt really comfortable.
It's put you off for life, hasn't it? You'll never do another one now. I really appreciate it. I honestly do. It's brilliant to get you on here. It's been brilliant to have a chance to play Astrozombies, and I hope that it turns out to be a brilliant experience for yourself too. Take care and cheers, George. Until next time, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Cheers.